be honest with you, Kevster has shown that when it comes to this head-to-head against Nesh so far, especially on King's Row, that it seems to be one that he's quite happy to walk away with. So I think on this first point, you probably give the advantage over to the side of Orgless and Hungary. However, we've seen teams completely roll through the whole of Anubis playing only 3-3, so maybe Hurricane find themselves in a pretty comfortable spot. First and foremost, though, it's going to be Orgless and Hungary's attack.
So look at what British Hurricane are bringing to the table. Double sniper composition, and of course they're going to put fusions on the Orisa. Where they set up is always a matter of contention, because sometimes we see teams go very far back, protect the sniper. We see him set up on this little plateau just to the right of your screen, but sometimes people might want to mix it up even further.
Yeah, very standard kind of setup, I think, coming out of Hurricane. Sometimes you can swap that Hanzo up for a Junkrat instead if you want more anti-dive. For these guys, they want the damage. They've seen what Kiv can do on this Hanzo in recent weeks. They want to make sure he's on what is probably one of his strongest heroes at this point, only, of course, after the Genji.
In this current patch, of course it is, and already Orgless and Hungary moving around together as a solidified unit. They want to keep Casper on the ground with them to output the damage and break through any shields that get in their way. British Hurricane adapting to that already and moving further back, keeping these long sight lines for Nesh. Because he had the safety of the grapple hook to get further away and already eyeing up some shots. Pushing through very slowly, Fusions has dropped off the high ground, leaves Rocket, who's on this Roadhog, and the solo heal from Funny Astro might be a little bit of a vulnerable target for Orgless and Hungary to deal with.
Just managed to storm their way through there. Kiv finding the first pick onto Epps as well. Might just turn this fight completely in their favor, but Nesh brings down Kevster. This should be the end of their attack here, realistically, Tridd.
Only one resurrection available in that short space of time for Denia, so they will be playing with one man down as they're looking to aggress even further. Leodeds does get a return kill. Casper following up onto Kib, and with only Funny Astro there for the heals and the resurrections, that man advantage now flips over to Orgless and Hungary, because you've got to think about the respawn difference as well, Dez.
Trying to go for the infocytes here as well, find a couple of picks on the way through, but Orgless and Hungary actually steamrolling their way through. Hurricane not really responding as quickly maybe as they could, going to find themselves in the spot to catch out this first point and push on towards the second in just 1 minute and 30 seconds.
It's one of the things that's unique about Control from assault maps is that if you're on the defending side, if you lose that one member, it can have a cascading effect that really does allow you to lose quite quickly, depending on how quickly you can reinforce your team. But of course, that then flips over on point B, because you then have the spawn advantage, and it suddenly becomes that much harder for an attacker.
It can flip the other way, because for Orgless and Hungary, they were the ones who at first lost the first pick, and then Hurricane in the 6 versus 5 still lost. That was what really hurt them the most, I think, was they expected to win that following fight. Orgless and Hungary, though, they're pushing in with ultimates on side. Leodeds 20% away from that Graviton Surge.
Already taking out the Sky, Kib gonna feel that bullet go straight through his head. Kevster, of course, picking that one up. Casper following up with the kill onto Fusions. And Kevster eyeing up the shot on Leodeds. The self-destruct will fly out, finds no one. Orgless and Hungary were not under pressure there to defend against that one Bucket. Surprisingly getting the kill onto Casper with the Zenyatta. They're now running into a double support, triple support composition, and the resurrection brings Casper back up. Kib's gonna take out Denia afterwards, so they've traded their Mercy for a Hanzo, and Kib's gonna make sure that the deal is just zero-sum for Orgless and Hungary as he follows up with one onto Casper as well. You've got Kevster on the back line, unable to break through and get these kills. It's Doc Bok running at it again with a double kill on the Zenyatta.
There was a 5-second window there where Orgless and Hungary could have pulled off the combo of the Zarya and the Hanzo striking up together. Biggest problem was, once that 5-second window passed, they'd lost Denia, there was no damage boost coming through onto the Hanzo, he then died not long after, and it was gone. During those 5 crucial seconds, Happy was keeping a very close eye on Casper and making sure that if he did go to try and use an ultimate, he would eat either the Graviton Surge or he'd get hold of the Dragon Strike. So really smart play from Hurricane.
Leodeds keeping on to that Graviton Surge. There comes the Dragon Strike from British Hurricane. Gonna go straight through. And Orgless Hungary just wave it as it runs by. Happycore gonna follow up with a kill onto Leodeds and Latex. So both tanks being taken out. Orgless and Hungary, now with no solid beefy front line, have to play defensively and pull back a little bit further, burning even more of their time bank.
Still with 4 minutes 30 on the clock, that's a good chunk of time for Orgless and Hungary to go for the push on. Still yet to use that combo we spoke about, but equally, after that 5 seconds elapsed earlier on, Bucket's ultimate came online. That trans was there and ready. He is holding it for when that combo comes out, because you know it can be pivotal to them staying alive.
And because Bucket really stood inside the rally, he's able to have even more defenses to fight against this Graviton Surge coming out. It went to nothing. There was no Dragon Strike follow-up because the pressure was there from Nesh on the Brigitte, who eventually took out Casper. And now they're just rolling through. Yes, Leoded's got a D-Mech, but the rest of British Hurricane have taken out Orgless and Hungary.
Just again with these staggered ultimates seems to be costing Orgless and Hungary more fights than it should, but they're going to change things up now as well. Leodeds onto the Diva. They're going to try and play things a little bit more conventional, you might say, go more towards dive in this case. They can match the dive heroes coming out of British Hurricane.
Diving tanks, but often stationary heroes. They've got the double sniper on the go. Kevster and Casper sticking with that. They just want some more mobility in the tanks to maybe get onto the back line, create some more pressure for Kib and not allow them to do so. But both supports for their ultimates, it won't be a while until they can cut through unless they do something really special. Dragon Strike gonna go straight through the sky like a kite, and no one's gonna feel that breeze at all. Already the Primal Rage coming out from Fusion's gonna smack them around a bit. But retreats back to his team, knowing that his time is limited with that HP pool.
They wanted a bit more threat by taking the double dive tanks, I think, because they move so much quicker than what Orion Zarya would. You have to be conscious of them at all times as the defending side. As it stands, though, they're struggling to find these opening picks onto a support that enable those dive tanks to go in and go for the kill onto the other one.
Fusion's doing his job perfectly, keeping Kevster on the edge of his seat, unable to stay up there and start picking off. And Casper going to throw out a Storm Arrow. Denny going very low, will get to cover before he does fall. But Nesh still picking up the kill onto Kevster, which is unusual. You don't expect that to happen. Edwards the turnaround onto Fusions, takes him down. Funny Astro brings about Dragon Strike, going to cut through the rest of the team. And the Lightning is chasing Casper. He's thankfully, he's a conductive rod in the sky for British Hurricane to lock onto.
It's a bit of a slow start, it feels, for Orgless and Hungary. That first point, pretty quick, worked out quite well in their favor. The second point, offense is lacking a little bit of desire, I suppose you could say, from them. They are getting inside the area, and they had that initial push when they first managed to roll over from point A. But aside from that, they haven't really looked to threaten British Hurricane. Rocket has been sat now on this Transcendence for at least 4 minutes.
So is Funny Astro. He's picked it up quite quickly. Dragon Strike cuts through. They have isolated Fusions, unable to get the kill as of yet. And Kiv's got a clear sightline onto Casper. Will dance around. Nesh drops down to Kevster. Finally, they have a man advantage. Let's see what they can do with it. They've got a Transcendence and a Primal Rage to stall out if they need to. But first, they need to get the kills and the position. Self-destruct going to hit the pillar. Delayed a little bit. Goes over the top. Will not find any kills, because Orgless and Hungry are already in cover. Funny Astro brings Nesh back. They're at full strength again. Plus, they have a respawn advantage. Fusion locked up. Will get away from the damage. Dragon Strike cut through Orgless and Hungry, forcing out the Primal Rage from Latex. He's stalling out time, but now they're getting kills with it. Happy, Nesh, they've both gone down. They just need to get some more, but they have positional advantage. The rest of British Hurricane are coming out. They're using the Transcendence from Bok to bring everyone back into the fight, but Casper's still doing work. Fusions takes a Recon Arrow. Casper going to go down to the Storm Arrow, and Kevster gets a shutdown on Kib. They're all on the point dancing around. Just over 50% taken for Orgless and Hungry. But like we said earlier, the respawn advantage is definitely in favor of British Hurricane, and they're coming out faster than Orgless can kill. They will eventually get overwhelmed unless they step up the tempo, and Nesh taking out Kevster is not a good way to do that. British Hurricane need to emerge. Dragon Strike will separate them. They've now been drip fed again, but no kills follow up. You can't expect to take this point, as British Hurricane are now starting to go into Orgless and Hungry. Cool, taking out Denia. You've lost the source of healing. Kid's looking for the second. He'll settle for Casper because Fusion's already done it. They're going to fall down. Orgless and Hungry push back with 40 seconds on the clock.
And British Hurricane, unfortunately for Orgless and Hungry, have just got both of their support ultimates back online. Bucket nearly getting drops at the very end there. Nearly lost all of his armor, but still managed to stay alive despite being tossed around by like a bit of a ragdoll, to be honest with you, by Latex. They have the resources online now to hold this point. Orgless and Hungry are going to try something a bit desperate here to do a complete and utter changeover. We're finally seeing them go on the 3-3 Tridd.
3-3 with 15 seconds remaining. They have to be fast on this one, but they're all tanks. Gonna need to rocket boost that, get Elon Musk in here to really optimize it. You've already spotted it, Des. Nesh changing over to the forest. Should be able to pummel the 3-3 composition as they move on to the point. No kills as of yet. They're jumping in, keen, ready to go. They've got that Primal Fury as the self-destruct heads to the back line, into the middle. No victims of the bomb. Rocket sits in the Transcendence. The rest of the team dancing around him. He's the pivot point while that's active for that roster. Nesh still flying away. Bucket gets the first kill onto Latex. No main tank available. No tanks at all, apart from Leoded, who's full HP, but he's dancing around. The Dragon Strike gonna cut through the rest of Orgless and Hungry and keep them off the point. They have the respawn advantage. They have the man advantage, positional advantage. Everything is going in the favor of British Hurricane. If they can just kill that final Mora, they will end Orgless and Hungry's offense.
Great scouting once again. A lot of teams will do this. You can just sit there, hold down that tab button, see what's running at you, and as soon as they see that 3-3, they go, boys, it's time for the change. We need this counter to the 3-3. And it would have been a risk trying to match them in the 3-3, I think. So they thought, you know what? Let's do what everyone does. Let's go for the Farah Hanzo and make sure this works in our favor. And work it did. It was a very slow, long, drawn-out, painful fight for both sides, where British Hurricane prevail. and they've only got to get the first point and a third of the second, Tridd, and they are in the playoffs. That's just how significant this is to their season. And imagine a team that has gone through weeks of torment, of heartbreak, of pain, of confusion in the team, no doubt. And they find themselves in a spot now where they could do a Giganti almost here and completely fight their way up from the very bottom and show what they are made of. Let's not forget, Giganti finished 4th place in Group A last season. They went into the finals against British Hurricane. It came down to one final push on Dorado. It doesn't matter where you come into. Okay, it does matter, let's not lie. It matters where you come because that first round match with the playoffs can be hard, but we've seen teams go all the way before. Why can't Hurricane do the same?
The problem is that Giganti didn't face Hurricane in the first round. Giganti is looking like they're going to finish 1st place tomorrow. That will still need to be confirmed, but British Hurricane, if they're gonna take any seed at all, it's the 4th place seed, which means they will face the 1st place from Group B. Yes, they have the potential, and it is very reminiscent of Season 1 Giganti's arc. But this is a different ballgame, Des. This is Season 2, and things are fundamentally shaken up by the way the groups are distributed.
As good as things are going for Hurricane in this series as well, I keep feeling like I have to come back to that point of 3-3 being their bread and butter. And we never thought of this team as a 3-3 bread and butter comp. Triple DPS was their thing last season. They made it work wonders while no other team was really trying to bring it out. They tried it this season. It didn't work so well because snipers were becoming so prevalent with the hands on the Widow coming through. Now they're going to try things out a bit differently though. They're going to go tick bucket back on his good old faithful Ana. They're going to roll out with full dive.
Full dive into double sniper, triple DPS because they've got the Junkrat on the end, and Kevster already taking out Funny Astro. So Bucket the only healer. The aggressive positioning from Orgless and Hungry really looking to shut down Hurricane early. And they have got the ability to get up there and contest them, but whether they should or not remains a question. Orgless and Hungry going to answer it for them by dancing back to the bottom.
I have a feeling here the reason they're going with the Genji, well, they're going for full dive in general with the Ana, is they're relying a lot on the nano-boosted Genji play to win that second fight for them. That's their win condition. Orgless and Hungry, they don't have a Transcendence on side. There is no Zenyatta here. That could be their win condition, but they've got to win the first point first, and Orgless and Hungry are making it very hard for them.
Kevster picking up the D-Mech in the kill. Nesh, the saving grace for British Hurricane. Only finding Latex so far. Then he's going to bring that back. So, man advantage in favor of Orgless and Hungry. And really, unless someone pops off, they're going to have to buy some more time and burn more of their time bank.
Oh, can they get another pick there as well? If they get a couple of picks, let's not forget. Orisa incredibly slow, dive incredibly quick.
But they traded the Mercy for a Hanzo. So unfortunately, I think the trade goes in favor of Orgless because they can sustain the rest of the team, whereas British Hurricane cannot. And Kevster, well, if you take a shot like that at Kib, you're not going to be able to heal through that.
Heal through a headshot from a Widowmaker?
Hey, it happens in Kingsman.
True.
They have the technology. I don't think they have the technology in Overwatch yet.
No, I can't say it was on their list of priority of world innovations to come up with, you know. Healing from headshots, not really a thing on there. Maybe curing, you know, curing all the medical disease in the world would probably be a much more beneficial piece of work.
Global warming was big for them as well.
Yep.
Eco point system.
Yeah,
yeah,
very true.
Not headshot wounds though.
No, not yet.
Only one who can do that is Mercy. I think Moira can canonically, but maybe not. We're not sure. Back on the game itself. Kib getting closer to that win condition, like you said, Des. 72% in climbing. Box not far ahead of him either. But if he keeps getting killed by Kevster like that, it's going to take even longer for the combo as he finds a second one onto Fusions. And Box progress is going to be halted as Leodez flies through him. Battle Mercy going at him. It's Bunny Astro. It doesn't matter what hero you put him on, he's still going to get in your face and wreak havoc.
Just hilarious when you think about it, because the guys mentioned Neptune in Overwatch League as well. It always seems to be Widowmakers. Mercy's one day just like, you know, we've had enough of this. Let's get a new suit. Let's fly at those Widowmakers. Let's bring them down. Get them down where they stand. And it works wonders every time.
Nano boost straight onto Fusions. Already in there with Epps. Going to take him down and heads up to the high ground. He thinks he spotted a Hanzo. He has indeed. Needs to hunt him down, but the Nano boost expired. The Storm Arrow and the reinforcement from Leodez brings it back in. Kib found a double in the meantime. British Hurricane have done enough to get them this first point.
Bringing down Kevster at that opening just meant they had so much more room to push through. No member was going to get tagged out on the way in. And yeah, okay, we saw the Winston go down early on without using the Primal Rage. That means they've got it available for this second point. It took them a solid 3 minutes to make it happen, but Hurricane have now got 5 minutes, the 5 most exciting, most thrilling, most scary 5 minutes of their life to win this out and get themselves into the top 8.
They need to average around about 10% on the clock per minute. If they can do that, they get themselves that win. Kib's got the Dragon Blade, they saved it for point B, but they've not got the Nano Boost and they're not going to have it anymore because Bucket's going to switch over to Zenyatta. Zenyatta, and the rally already been used by Nesh, topping up everyone's armor before they go into a potential final engagement. They've got a Riptire and a Supercharge on the side of Orgless and Hungry to combat against the offense of the Hurricane.
I smell a 3-3 if this doesn't work out for them, but let's see what they can do with this play. Kib, it's his main hero. We speak about Shadow a lot. Kibs is another one of those big Genji players. Let's see if he brings the blade out, but Epps is waiting. It's a pop player in Junkrat, one of those things you never really expect to see.
Well, Fusions has already taken out the Supercharger with his Primal Raid, so some ults committed by British Hurricane. That Riptire, not going to get any kills. It did force back Hurricane, though.
It's really bizarre that Orgless and Hungry are choosing to run the triple DPS when you're coming into the setup here against Hurricane, where they're running dive. They will jump on a target, they will stun you with the Brigitte, and they will kill you incredibly quick. That was more of a tide over there from the first point, because Epps now, quite sensibly, is going to change over to the Brigitte.
A little bit of counter dive in the mix to stop British Hurricane doing what they want. Fusion's on the Winston, jumps over the top, immediately gets up, gets stunned up. But Kib, he comes in. A little bit of misdirection for British Hurricane as he cuts through one, he cuts through two. But the Shimada brother on the other side gets two of his own. Difference being, Leodeds and Kevster can follow up to make that 4.
Did have a bit of an impact with those 2 kills, but not quite enough. Going to switch over now and play on the Hanzo. So they're going back to what we've seen before, where you're playing on the triple support with the dive tanks and a solo DPS in the form of the Hanzo.
Kevster's going to mix it up. He's gone on to the Brigitte instead. I'm going to keep on with this fight. So, 2-2-2, making it a little bit... No, 3-2-2, sorry. 3-2-1. What am I saying, Des? I'm being lost over with these compositions.
Maths, mate.
Quick maths, but it wasn't that quick for me. Kib is going to jump over the high ground. Bubble going to block out most of that damage, as you'd expect. Latex holding that high ground doesn't want to give a prime window for any sniper to get in there and start raining down hell from above.
Well, Orgless and Hungry have now held for 2 minutes, and they've got a couple of ultimates online. They're looking towards Epps, getting that Transcendence soon. Bot's going to pull his out and go for the charge.
Pulling the trigger early, wants to get the preemptive strike into Orgless and Hungry, but the strike has fallen short. No victims so far. Nesh being topped up by a double pocket. Self-destruct goes in there. Funny Astro gets taken out by the bomb. Unable to bring those resurrections and healings to the fight. Nesh is still going to push forward, but he realizes what a mistake it is. There's a Storm Arrow blinds him from the side. Orgless and Hungry push back British Hurricane yet again.
Half of their time is now gone. This is where the nerves might start creeping back in, where that moment of elation, no doubt, after catching the first point will have started to diminish, and they know that realize they've got this task in front of them to complete this map. Hurricane, no real big ults up on online for them just yet. They do have a few more about to come up in a second. They're looking towards the Transcendence, though, or the Brigitte ultimate, so they can charge in and try and run Orgless and Hungry down. Epps has got the Transcendence, and we spoke about him needing that online in the last fight. He's got it, and Bot doesn't.
Going to be a big difference maker for Orgless and Hungry unless they can get some crucial picks off. If you take Epps out before he can use the Transcendence, then, well, you win that fight straight up. You're not going to be able to have that huge source of healing. Dragon Strike going to cut through. They thought they had a cornered British Hurricane, but the Primal Rage going to keep him alive. Self-destruct flown over the top, as well as a Dragon Strike of their own. Despite ultimates being thrown at Orgless, no one's going to the graveyard. Casper's caught in the corner. Real horizontal leap away in the pocket for Mercy to keep him alive. Fusion's going to cut his losses, change up the target, get back to safety. British Hurricane threw everything but the kitchen sink at Orgless and Hungry, and they've already had to retreat.
Maybe half a kitchen sink in front of them there. All the ultimates came out, like you said. Bok about to get the ult online, but it's not really going to be enough now. They've lost everything else. They'll find themselves getting pushed back. Orgless and Hungry on their victory charge here towards British Hurricane.
Fusions has been set up hard by Funny Astro, pulling a cruel joke on him, resurrecting him, knowing full well he's going to go down to the aggressing Orgless and Hungry.
It's like when we played together. There's crazy resurrections in the middle of nowhere.
Dude, I can res him, it's fine. I'm going to fly in. Like, I fly in, resurrect. I can get out safely, but the target that's been res definitely cannot.
It's almost a bit of a debate, you might say. However, they're looking now to switch things up again. British Hurricane. I thought that was going to be quad tank for a second when I saw that Roadhog, but alas, it's still going to be a good old 3-3, just minus the Zarya.
And they're moving in and making themselves beefier with the rally. The Dragon Strike going to cut through, but they're not in the area for long. The amp it up from Funny Astro makes sure of that. Casper off to the side, starting to throw in those arrows into them. Kib throws out the hook, won't connect. They're still stagnated around this point, but Leoded's getting a D-Mech onto Happy, Nesh following up with the kill onto Kevster, and Casper takes out the main tank. There's 25 seconds remaining, Des. If we don't see a full reset from British Hurricane, they're not going to have the time to go at this again.
Oh, great final pick onto Bucket as well. That might just stay them out for long enough that they can't do a full push here, Tridd. Ultimates online for Orgless and Hungry. We're only looking at one coming through for British Hurricane. This should pretty much be the end of it there. They've been punished for their slow play. Orgless and Hungry with the apt game plan.
Dragon Strike going to cut through by more time. Someone's trying to touch the point. Leoded being the person to hopefully negate that. But with Epps taking out Funny Astro, you're missing your full source of healing. Self-destruct goes over the top. No one's on the point. Overtime ticking down. They're going to get throw a Hail Mary of fusions to the point. He can't touch. He's being bopped around by Latex on the Winston. Going to keep him off the point. Overtime going back. You already see Secret Agent Kip being there for the stall tactics. They're throwing everything to try and kill him. Where are the reinforcements from British Hurricane? They're just getting out of the spawn room. But with everybody dead, Orgless and Hungry win their first map of the series. It's a 2-1 scoreline. We're going to map 4.
Young and Beautiful's hopes hang on by a thread after that game. And we said, coming into the half-time, Orgless and Hungry got a lot to talk about. Feels like they've got at least some of these things starting to come together for them. Good holds, good attacks. Close, but still definitely starting to see that divide really even out between these two teams now. Now we're at a 2-1 scoreline. It goes into the next map. If Orgless and Hungry can pull this one back and it goes to a 5th map, you know full well British Hurricane the whole time, their heart is going to be bursting out of their chests.
Well, hopefully we don't have to do any cardiac bypasses. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll bring you what should be map 4 and a potential heart attack. Welcome back to Overwatch Contenders Europe, and we're in the final map of Orgless and Hungry versus British Hurricane, and it is still series point and potentially playoff point for British Hurricane. One more map win will secure them top 8. However, 2 more map losses, and they're going into trials next season. The first academy team from Europe to do so.
Will not be a fun experience for them or for any general Spitfire or Hurricane fans. They're one and the same at this point to some people, but to be honest with you, it's getting down to the wire now. Orgless and Hungry showed in that last map they can definitely fight against British Hurricane. They can bring it back. Question is, how do Hurricane rally? We said for Anubis, it's a very dive-heavy map. There's a lot of sniper play on it. British Hurricane have looked the best on 3-3. If this final map enables them to go back to playing that style, this could be their map to win. But we've said crazier things in the past and they haven't come to fruition. And the way to find out is to get into it.
Hoping to do that very shortly, as well as bring you what that 4th map is going to be, because, of course, it's actually the first time British Hurricane are going to choose a map this series, as the loser does pick the next map from our pool in Overwatch Contenders. And this season, it can be Watchpoint Gibraltar, Route 66, or most likely, Rialto.
I can't envision them going to Gibraltar because it's a double sniper dive tank map. Not really fit into their strengths right now, I feel. Probably going to be Rialto. Most teams are going to Rialto. Rialto's the big party place. Everyone seems to want to go there and play it. We've seen Young and Beautiful bring out their own crazy strats. Who knows, maybe in all the chaos of the season, actually, they've got something special for us.
Hopefully they do, because you've not only got to worry about... well, actually, here's the thing. With the meta changing, any strat you go, oh, I'm going to hold on to that for playoffs. I'm going to hold on to that for playoffs. Now becomes slightly irrelevant because the meta changes before playoffs, and we wouldn't have known that at the beginning of the season. So any strategies you've got are now going to be thrown at us. And for the first time in a long time, Des, we're going on to Route 66, down that path to pro.
As greatest path to pro, I suppose, you can get quite literally for British Hurricane here if they can make it all of the way. I think we saw Route 66 once back in week 2. Other than that, it's been all Gibraltar or all Rialto. So bit of a mix coming into this one. Curious to see what they choose to run away with. It will be British Hurricane on the attack to start.
I don't think it was even Group A that ran it. I think it was Group B. It was the We Have Org 1-point series, if I remember correctly, from Group B, where they played Route 66 final map.
Angry Titans ran it as well.
Angry Titans have run it as well?
Because they ran double sniper in double shield, sorry, in week 1, if you remember.
That was
against
Gibraltar.
Orgless and Hungary.
Gibraltar.
Oh, sorry, so it was, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're not 100% sure on whether Route 66 has been played.
We've seen it at least once.
It's the least played map from our escort pool. British Hurricane have chosen it, so clearly they have something prepared for this, and they will be on the offense first, running up against Orgless and Hungary's defense.
And speaking of the defense, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think we're pretty good to speak, Tridd.
I've been debated by the UI. It's the wrong way around. It's going to be Orgless and Hungary running offense first against British Hurricane's defense.
Thank you, production. Got our backs as always. British Hurricane then on defense first are going to be the ones running out with Quad Tank, going back to the old Atlantic Showdown special, the Season 1 victory comp, you might call it, as so many teams wanted to run it. What a place to bring it out in the final game.
Don't see a lot of Quad Tank in Season 2. Few teams do it. It's mostly relying on the free composition. Orgless and Hungary eyeing up what could be a full dive composition, although I think it's more likely we might see that McCree-Genji combination. I don't think Legday is going to stick with the Doomfist. Actually, no, there you go, finally.
Debated.
Switching over to the D.Va. Debated twice, once by production, once by Orgless and Hungary. I just need British Hurricane to do it as well, and we got the trifecta.
This is a very interesting comp coming out of Orgless and Hungary because there's elements of dive and elements of don't dive. But look at the Quad Tank coming through. They're trying to steam on through, but by the looks of it, Orgless and Hungary have got the answer.
Emerging straight from that tunnel and taking it right to Orgless and Hungary, but with Happy being D-mech, they're missing a crucial part of the composition. Now, they have to play a little bit more defensively, buy up some time for Mini D.Va to get the mech back, but Fusion's already been taken out by Casper. That's something you can't fix with a couple of gunshots. And Kevster's got the high ground position. It's easy pickings. Yes, Happy's got his mech back, but he's stunned up, gonna boost her away throughout that. Get himself on the payload to stall some more time, but British Hurricane might have to shake things back up on this defense.
Orgless and Hungary sending a very strong message. Leave Quad Tank in Season 1 where it died a long time ago. British Hurricane go, yeah, okay, fair enough then. They switch things out. Kib going across onto the Brigitte.
All right, sound.
Restores us to some more normality, you might say. The 3-3 that has been so successful for Hurricane in this series so far.
What's interesting to me, of course, is that they've subbed in Crusade instead of Funny Astro. So you've now got an issue where you're going to have what we consider an inferior Lucio player. There's obviously reasons to sub him in, but without Astro, it's unusual. Curtis is going to cut through. They're still going to find Nesh, even though he's behind the shield. Follows up with a kill to Fusion. Meanwhile, Casper's popping up with a Dragon Blade of his own. Casper's going to be taken out. Funny Astro, sorry, Crusade, and they're going to cut through the rest of British Hurricane. Orgless and Hungary have come to play on this final map.
Won't lie, little bit of overkill there, throwing 4 ultimates into a team fight when they probably could have won with just a few, given that the other team had literally no ultimates online. But best of all, Latex is at 65% back towards that Earthshatter. It's nearly there. Hurricane not going to be able to contest. They were so close. But now they're going to have to back off, not find themselves stalled out. But saying that, Happy loses his mech.
And his life, Des. Don't forget about his life. I think it's more important than the mech.
Part.
Possessions don't mean a lot in this world, but your life certainly does.
Depends how materialistic you are.
Well, fortunately, it doesn't matter how materialistic he is.
He's dead.
He's dead. Orgless and Hungary going to get the payload in motion. 4 minutes 20 on the clock, and that's a sizable time back to be playing with when you're going to get a top-up if you hit point B.
Ultimate rotations now will become pretty key for both sides. I think Hurricane about to hit that critical mass of ultimates. They're trying to go for the fight, but it's Latex with the first kill.
And Kevster's got a flank on the fusions. He has to divert his attention. Happy will be there to shut it down, so no high noon popping today. But we still got to deal with Casper, the highly mobile cybernetic ninja, coming through, causing nuisance. Not going to kill, but the Dragon Blade should change that. Stunned up by the Brigitte, moving in closer again. Needs to get in range of Kib, but the Coalescence keeps him alive a little bit longer, forcing him to only get 1 kill with the blade. Now he's running straight into pocket. Easy cut down for Kevs to double team him with. He's moving around, get that payload back in motion, and clear out the rats that are British Hurricane.
Definitely managed to stall them at least temporarily. Hurricane going to change it up once again. Kip going on to that Hanzo means they have more damage threats coming into this fight. But Orgless and Hungry, they're having a party here on Route 66. They've managed to push it through with winning consecutive fights back to back.
Bit of move around, keeping the payload going. Casper's got that high ground, and he's been having quite a performance on Genji in this map so far, looking for his third ultimate of the map. And he's been generating them quite quickly. The Shurikens have been doing good work. They've been on point. He's been dancing around, causing havoc for the supports, and really putting the fear of God into the backline of British Hurricane. Crusade hasn't had the warm-up time that Funny Astro has had. That might be playing on him moving into this final map. It's definitely not playing on Kip. Takes Kevster out of the skies. Denny to then res. Self-destruct going over the top. No one caught out. British Hurricane are hiding in the saloon. They need to emerge and start contesting. The Earthshatter gets a few, and it's going to be the charge that kills Nesh. It's Kevster still on the ground floor, taking pop shots. Won't find any hits just yet, but he's got a few supports in his line. Flashbang onto Crusade. Double tap with the punch to finish it off, and now he has to deal with fusions, but the lightning is too strong. Happy from the side with the pistol will get the kill. They're sitting in the Transcendence of Orgless and Hungry. Here's another Dragon Blade from Casper. Gets one slash, finds the second, needs the third to take out Happy Cool, and will cut through him perfectly as he gets D-maxed. The rest of Orgless and Hungry able to dance around British Hurricane, shut them down, and force out the final phase of Route 66.
Oh, Hurricane, wherever you went to go nap at half-time, it's time to wake back up because Orgless and Hungry are looking solid. This is nothing like the start of the series where we saw Hurricane get off to a flying start with a 2-0 on Lijiang Tower. It's been much slower since then. They keep on changing their comp round as well. Fusion's now onto the Ryan as well. They've got a reset from Kib. He's gone off the Hanzo, back onto the Brigitte. Now they're indoors. They've got to work something out, Tridd, because Orgless and Hungry, they've had no reason to swap so far, but it's working perfectly for them.
They can line up a Gigantic Bomb. British Hurricane have got the ult combination to do so, but they're just waiting on Fusion. Not going to wait, drops it early, keeps him behind the shield. Everyone's still alive, but Kip gets the first kill onto Latex. Ed's going to level it out onto Fusion. No Reinhardt's on the field. Nesh going to win out that trade. Kevster still taking pop shots to Bocket, just needs to land one more. The healing's coming out to keep him a little bit more alive, but it's Crusade channeling Funny Astro and getting a kill onto the DPS superstar.
Managed to make it work out for them. Maybe they thought that changing out Crusade was the answer to all of their problems previously. Not saying Funny Astro, of course, was the problem, but different play styles and able to play in different ways, capitalize on different weaknesses maybe they think they've identified in Orgless and Hungry. So far, I'm not really seeing many of those weaknesses, to be honest with you. Orgless and Hungry looking very much so on fire. I was a bit confused about the whole Nesh combo there where he brought out the Graviton Surge in isolation. They did win the fight, but it would have been a much more guaranteed, safe win otherwise.
Oh, unfortunate jump timing. The Earthshatter will go completely underneath it. Transcendence comes out a second too late to save Kib, and now it's time for Orgless and Hungry to use their own. Happy Cool still manages to get the kill onto Latex. Casper going to be well away from the Earthshatter being used by Fusions. It was enough for them to win the fight and push Orgless and Hungry back. 2 minutes remaining on their offense.
Scary times for them. Orgless and Hungry at least stalled now in a couple of fights by Hurricane, starting to find their mojo once again. Very, very favourable fighting position on this corner for a tank-based team. Isn't very far. You have to walk forward to engage and start swinging away to catch out the enemy team. Orgless and Hungry, they've got the combos online they want, but there comes the one, that's what I was waiting for from Leodez. Now can they get any kills from it?
He's going to have to rack up the ult a little bit faster. Blocked up by the shield, no Dragon Strike available. Now he's got it, but he has to deal with Happy Cool in his face and a hammer swing, and the rest of British Hurricane clean up Casper in the fight. Will get the Dragon Strike for the next engagement. Latex should have the Earthshatter as well.
I don't know what it is with Orgless and Hungry, but the communication between those Graviton Surges and Dragon Strike seems missing at the best of times. You've got the damage boost from Denny, you've got everything online that you need to make this work, but they seem so afraid of making it happen.
The problem with last time was Casper probably was under the assumption he could get that Dragon Strike, but he couldn't pop through the shield because there was a quick reaction from Fusion. What reactions, though, from Casper to find Bocket in that chaos, and he's just peeking it through the tiniest of gaps. Reps going to take out Fusions. There's no shield blocking these shots. Casper should be able to run wild with this, and remember, he's still got the Dragon Strike in his pocket, and Kevster not far off the Riptide.
Does not take long to get that at all against this big tanky lineup coming out of Hurricane, but that nice big pick opened the way for Orgless and Hungry to get in towards the very end. They've pulled back, they're waiting. They've got combos online. Can they pull off the Gigantic Bomb to end it here, Tridd?
30 seconds to do it. Dragon Strike going to be used early by Orgless and Hungry. The Graviton Surge not available, but it is available for Nesh. They're going to be throwing straight forward immediately. A Shatter comes out to stop any attempt of the Gigantic Bomb as Kevster takes out Happy, and there's the self-destruct, sorry, and of course the Riptire onto Crusade. Latex is stood on the point all by himself. Bocket comes out with a Transcendence to keep his backline alive. They just need to deal with Kevster. He's getting a pocket from Denia off the rooftop. Ep still managing to take out Kip. The rest of Orgless are moving the point forward. They need to cut through Fusion. Beautiful headshot by Casper, shutting down Crusade. This is the lone tank. They should be able to cut through him. Pockets off to the side. Graviton Surge keeps him away from the point. Orgless and Hungry are going to complete Route 66.
Cannot stress how important that Earthshatter out of latex was when that Graviton Surge came through. It prevented the bomb combo we keep on speaking about. The self-destruct was shattered to the ground. It could not get behind the shield and be into the range of the Graviton Surge. Nice, effective ultimate coming out of Orgless and Hungry to ensure they complete. Now they're the ones who've got to go on defense against British Hurricane. There has to be a reason why they wanted to come to Route 66. We may well see it here on attack.
Orgless and Hungry guarantee that if British Hurricane complete, they will have another attempt and a minute to play with on a further offense if they fail to shut down Hurricane's momentum. Of course, they now have to go onto offense and try and beat Orgless and Hungry in terms of pace to make it that much easier on their potential second attempt at this map.
Interested to see what kind of comps they choose to roll with on the attack, because again, it's their map, they must have a reason for it. Orgless and Hungry opting over to a pretty conventional setup, you might say. Going to go towards the Orisa and the Diva to hold the garage. Then you've got double sniper to threaten all those angles that teams like to try and roll in with.
And now, Orgless and Hungry going to head out onto the defense. So still running with double sniper. They've got latex on the Orisa this time around, having a deployable and interchangeable shield for them to use, keep the snipers safe. But of course, Leodet's going onto the old faithful of Diva.
So we'll find themselves in a situation now where for Hurricane, they have to complete. There's no two ways about it. Otherwise, they find themselves again in that heartbreaking 5th map. If it goes to that map, they might actually feel pretty good, because let's not forget, start of the series, it was 2-0 in their favor on Lijiang Tower. Next map would, of course, be Ilios. That is our tiebreaker map this season. We've already seen what Funny Astro can do on that map. It seems to be the one that they like bringing him out on, because he can play incredibly aggressive. But first and foremost, they've got to find themselves either winning this map now and not having to worry about going to Ilios, or Orgless and Hungry can stand strong and force out that 5th map.
Yeah, that 5th map might be us getting ahead of ourselves, Des. I know we want it, but we still need to see how Route 66 shapes up. And no quad tank defense coming out against British Hurricane. They're the only ones who seem to be doing that. But they will be running the Holt hook combination. Of course, Bucket on the Roadhog again, solo healer in the form of Crusade on the Mercy. And I think that might be why they brought him into this map, Des.
They got Kib as well, get dinged out by Casper though. Would have been nice to see him be able to get in the back line and run Riot. However, it's Nesh who's running Riot at this point with a nice dink onto Epps' head, but Kevster responds. That's what we've been seeing from this guy all series long.
That's the beauty of double sniper. Some guy can pop off and all of a sudden out of nowhere, kill can just come in. Eyeing up the hook shot from Kevster up into the air. Crusade has to take cover, but he's still in range to heal the rest of his team, using the rock to avoid any shot. Now he has to deal with a second sniper, because Casper back on the field with the Storm Arrow. Can't break through that shield. Kevster going up, going for the hook shot, looking for a kill. Misses the shot. Dragon Strike's going to cut through, but the kills are still going in favor of British Hurricane. Just need to take out Leodet, and the payload will begin to move forward again.
Kib's going to the back line here to try and harass down some of the snipers in the backline. Looks like it's working out actually, because their attention is distracted. Happy brings down 2. They should at least be able to get a bit of a push on here as they storm in towards the front side of this garage.
I just want to touch on a point I brought up there, Des, to get your take on it. I think the reason why they brought Crusade in is because they knew they were going to be running Mercy on the offense. And of course, we equate Crusade with being a better Mercy player than Funny Astro. If that was important for their offense, I think that's why they brought him in here.
It's so hard to weigh in like a good Mercy at this level. If you're at this level where you're of course playing in towards top 500 for all of these players, your Mercy should be pretty on point. We've just gone through a very heavy Mercy meta, man. You've got to be able to play it.
Well, Tracer, we didn't expect to see her in Season 2 meta, but still doing work. Kevster going to be taken out by the Pulse Bomb, and that's a very low position for Denny, and he's taken to the sky. A self-destruct from Happy Cool takes out the Bongo, and of course, the tin can of Epps, and the rest of British Hurricane are going to keep on rolling forward. They just need to get that first checkpoint. 4 minutes 30 on the clock, and they have the distance still to go.
Keep on rolling, boys. 4 minutes 20 on the clock. We actually said this about Orgless and Hungry. They were the ones at 4 minutes 20 when it came to roughly this passage of play, you might say. I think it was a bit further along the way because they did manage to push through the whole of the first point. Pretty much uncontested, but Hurricane starting to get that snowball in effect. They're starting to roll fours. Ultimate's not really online for them right now, but we always speak about this ultimate coming out of the Orisa, the Supercharger. It's got the highest win rate when it's used. It's got the highest win rate in fights in the game for a reason. A 50% damage boost to every member of the team is nothing to be skulked at.
Self-destruct sent to the back line, trying to disorientate British Hurricane. Supercharger's been deployed, but Crusade's already gone down on the Mercy. Casper now on the Genju, going to jump through Nesh, takes them out straight away, and they're sitting in a Transcendence. Happy comes with the return slap in that mech, but now he's just had Denia run straight to him to die. Poor resurrection choice by the support of Orgless and Hungry. Happy's finally been demet. Kid's on the back line. You're paying some attention to Kevster, but he can just grapple hook away. British Hurricane, some resistance coming out from Orgless and Hungry, but they're still keeping the payload going.
Well, to the stats guys out there, add that as a one fight for the Supercharger. Yes, it wasn't one while the Supercharger was active, but off those initial picks, Happy turned into more, or less of a fly, more like a monstrous eagle descending on his prey and making sure they went down. Hurricane now with 3 minutes in the time bank, going to go for one more final fight to secure the second point and push down the end of the map towards that potential top 8.
They want that extra 1 minute 30 you get from the point B capture, but Orgless and Hungry want to end it right here. 3 minutes to burn through, and without any kills coming through for them, and Nesh shutting down Latex early, it makes it increasingly difficult. Self-destruct over the top, not going to get any kills, but it will get the D-Mech onto Leodead. Casper chasing away Crusade, can't secure the kill. Just needs a couple more shurikens, but now he's in the face of all the tanks. They led him to his big brother, and he's going to fight that playground fight for them. 4 minutes and 8 seconds for the final phase. This is entirely winnable for British Hurricane.
Hard winnable. Crusade baiting him there, almost saying, come on, please chase me.
Runs off crying to his older brother. The boys were mean to me. Yeah, what did you do to them? Oh, I just called him some bad names, and then all of a sudden the brother has to fight for them. That's the kind of stuff I did when I was younger. I was not the nicest cartridge, nicest child in the playground.
You're not the nicest man right now, Tridd.
No, I'm not. I'm horrible.
You know what else is horrible? The prospect of going to a fifth map, but it's not there quite yet, but it may well be. Casper cutting through the back line. He's cleaning up.
That's a triple K, and he's looking for the fourth, but Happy dancing away, going to go for the kill because he doesn't want to feed over any more reset ult charge. Casper with the 3K, saving grace for Orgless and Hungry in that engagement.
Let's not forget it was on this exact corner that Hurricane managed to stall out the majority of the last round. Orgless and Hungry were looking to do the same. They've got no Graviton Surge, which is what they've rolled with on the last push for them, I should say. This time around, it's all down to the Diva and the Ryan. We've seen some big shadows out of Latex so far in this series. If he's going to deliver any more, he should be doing it now.
Kid going on a very sneaky mission on the back line. Let's take it very quiet. And Epps doesn't even need to have Kip on him to die because Happy's going to do it all for him. Now just dancing around Kevster. He can't get too close because he can take a lot of damage. 30 HP straight away. Kill still found. Denny is flying around with the Valkyrie with no one to heal until he whips out the healing wand. He's going very low, ready for a kill. Kip's going to pick him out of the sky. 2 minutes 40, and they're on the final corner of Route 66.
Casper switching over to the Zarya as well. They realise that this is going to be a big part of shutting down this comp if it comes down to it. With 2 minutes 30 on the clock, that's more than enough time to build up a Graviton Surge. They've got the Tire of Kevster online as well. That's incredibly good at bringing down these tankier members. Problem is both Roadhog and Orisa could survive if they drop down the ship.
Shatter being dropped by Latex, and you can see on the picture-in-picture, Kip on the backline gets the stick. It's onto the mech instead of the target he wanted. Still won't get the D-mech. Those Tracer nerves not making her the tank buster she once was. Orgless and Hungry, they're able to bust the tank of Fusion and take out Crusade, setting them all the way back. But Dez, they've only got a couple of meters to go, and it's 2 minutes to work with. It's still winnable. The playoff dream is still alive for British Hurricane, and they're looking to make it a 3-1, but they need to complete to have any chance of doing that.
It smells a lot like 3-3 Tridd as well. Hurricane rolling out with their own comp. Casper does have a slight advantage on Nesh in this case, but they know that one fight is all they need to win it, given where the payload is. They're just got to be careful here not to get picked off and find themselves being staggered out time and time again, as we saw on Anubis.
Happy's got that self-destruct. Fusions is nowhere near the Earthshatter. He's changed over to the Reinhardt. Epps is just being absolutely demolished by Happy. Denia has to put some healing into him. Going to give the resurrection. Is Happy going for an alternative angle. Kevster's with the Kevster using the Rip Tire. He flies down and drops on top of the Junkrat and gets a lot of reinforcement from his team to keep him alive. While that's happening, Bok and Nesh get kills of their own. Happy may be down, but they've still got a slight man advantage until the kill feed starts looking a little bit more red for British Hurricane. 1 minute on the clock, 1 minute away from playoffs, but Nesh might be looking to hasten the speed. Bocket as well with the kills, and Crusade goes on to Leodead. It's not enough to get them the victory, but it's enough to stem the flow and keep them in this fight. Bocket goes for a flank, but Epps has his number, takes him out, self-destruct. not going to be used. It's going to be the Graviton Surge. Instead, I'm mixing up alt names because they keep on firing at each other. Casper taking out the mech. Avical going to answer as well. The kills are going back and forth. The respawn advantage going to start to take effect for Orgless and Hungry. This is actually worse for British Hurricane because it's taking even more time. Kib wants to throw the pulse ball onto Latex, gets a kill, but now he has to deal with a mech. Reinforcements are going to be coming from Orgless and Hungry if he doesn't get the kill fast enough. British Hurricane, they're still trying to get to the point. 20 seconds remaining. The goal is to stay alive and keep the push alive.
Gotta win this one fight, Tridd. Kev's just got the tire online. We've already seen what that can do, and Epps has got hold of the Transcendence as well. If they cannot win it here, we are going to map 5.
Riptide in the middle, 5-2, no chance for British Hurricane. Orgless and Hungry might have pulled this one off. They just need to follow it up with kills on the Crusade, who should be the next target. But Bokken is down. They're playing with one support. They're too far away from the payload to make anything happen. Orgless and Hungry, they want this very much. We're going to that 5th map. We're going to Ilios, and it all comes down to that final map for British Hurricane.
Orgless and Hungary wanting to be the real heartbreakers here in Contenders as well. They are one map away from relegating the Academy team, a team no one would have penned at the start of the season as going down. British Hurricane, they have got to pick things up. These last 2 maps, they have not looked themselves. Orgless and Hungary have had the answers compared to the first couple of maps. When we go to Control, though, anything can happen.
Well, we take the historic result already in this series. We're looking at a 2-0 victory, but of course Control maps are different. They require different play styles, and this is certainly a different Orgless and Hungry than what we saw in map 1.
And don't forget, in map 1 we saw a lot of Casper playing on the Farah. Wasn't really the strongest point, but they've learned, they've evolved, they have grown and adapted over the space of this series. I'm hoping if he pulls it out in the final map, they have an answer to Haffy, because props off to the guy. He has been incredible today.
Haffy's been incredible. Crusade was incredible in that last series, despite not managing to get that final map win. We're going to be going to Ilios to decide it all, but before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back to Overwatch Contenders Europe, where you are either having your fangs out or you are raising your ramen. We've had 4 maps of action between British Hurricane and Orgless and Hungary, and it's going to come down to one final control map. That is, of course, Ilios. And, well, if you're young and beautiful watching from the sidelines, you definitely got a bowl of your favorite ramen on the go right now.
Absolutely. From heartbreak to heartmake, potentially for young and beautiful. They thought after that last series it was all over. It almost is. There's potentially 3 rounds of Ilios standing between them and that final 4th spot for Hurricane. If they can pull it back, they go through. If Orgless and Hungary win, Hurricane are out. The first Academy team to be sent down to trials. That's how close this is, Tridd. I can't believe it has come down to the 5th map. If I had any series today to look at and go, this is going to 5th map, this is probably second to last after the next one.
But any series to go to a 5th map, you think the final series is going to go to a 5th map?
Other way around.
Right, okay, yeah, I was going to make sure.
Come on.
Come on, Des, get it together.
Exciting
this is final
match.
map.
My brain's
I know
frazzled.
it is, man, but let's pull it together. Got to put on a good show. British Hurricane, Orgless and Hungary, they've paid us that respect. Let's pay them the same.
You want us to put on a good show? There's going to be enough of a show on your screens very shortly when the gates open. Heading into Ruins first and foremost, very famously, a Widowmaker map. Curious to see if they choose to bring it out. Kev's currently sat on the trace. We've still got 25 seconds to go, but we know this guy is a prolific Widowmaker player. We've already seen him run away with maps, especially King's Row when he has the opportunity to bring it out. Curious to see what both sides are up to, because for when it's been on 3-3 again for Hurricane, it has favoured them. When it's been on dive, generally, we've seen Orgless and Hungary take maps and points away. Especially
Casper's Genji in the last map. Absolutely oppressive for British Hurricane. Really difficult for them to deal with, but we're on the gate. It is, of course, Ruins to kick things off, and Denia already making the change to that Mercy. And it's mirror compositions all around. Who can play it better? Who is going to get themselves in that top 8?
Kevster again regarded as the stronger Widowmaker player, but again with teams seeing a lot of flexibility, a lot of switching. He's the only one who really plays Tracer, definitely not Casper's forte, but Casper finds the opening pick onto Nesh.
Casper, he's down in a 40 as he takes out Nesh. He's going to be brought back to life by Funny Astro, and Nesh going to be paying him back by taking out Denia. That resurrection option not available for Orgless and Hungary, but to kick things off, it doesn't look like they need it as they get the first cap and start progressing themselves to that 100%.
Worth noting as well that Hurricane have swapped out Kib here and brought in Mikey A, their Tracer specialist, because they knew what map they were coming to. Let's see if he can do enough work though to be able to carry them all the way through, or if Kevster will run away with it on the Tracer.
Apkiel shutting down Latex on the Diva, and like I said, there's Kevster off to the side with the Tracer. No one's contesting Casper at the moment. He's got limited angles to work from here, but if he exposed himself more, he might go down. That's just what Fusions has done, already taken out by Leo dead. He's going to follow up with a kill onto Nesh. Pulse Bomb coming out from Kevster. He doesn't need it to kill Bucket. He'll just spray him down with the Pulse Pistols, and Orgless and Hungary, they're taking the fight to British Hurricane. They're not letting him anywhere near this point.
Absolutely not. It looks completely dominant. The exact flip of what we saw in the first map of the day, all the way back on Lijiang Tower. That was a good couple of hours ago now, Tridd. But British Hurricane, they are struggling to find a way onto this point. Nesh is losing every single head-to-head against Casper. Maybe there's a point here where they think, look, it's time to switch things up. Look at Casper, bottom right of your screen. He's lurking, he's waiting. He's waiting for the one clip onto a key member of the team.
He's looking to go back into the fight. While that was happening, Leodez takes out Fusions, and now the backline's exposed. It's easy picking for Bucket, but he got the pocket from Funny Astro. Self-destruct on top of the point. Nesh going to take out Epps. They're starting to pull it back. British Hurricane using the Transcendence to keep everyone alive, but they have to contend against the fists of Latex as he's throwing them around, looking for kills. Kevster going to take Mikey A, who joins us in the final map. He's going to be taken out by Kevster. Kevster again onto Nesh. This guy's having a madman performance on this Tracer. Leoded's taking out Fusions. Bucket going to remove Latex. Kevster dancing around again. Wants to get that Mercy, but he's going to have the support of the mech to get the defense matrix. Can't eat the bomb, but Epps doesn't need to have one as he removes both supports from the map and then takes out Happy Cool. 90% for Orgless and Hungary, 10% left for Hurricane to take this first round.
Kevster running away with it on the Tracer as well. Casper with some huge pickups earlier on in that round, and British Hurricane, they look lost as lambs. They can't find their way onto this point. The overtime is in play, but is it going to be enough for them, Tridd?
Primal Racer stall it out, but the Discord Orb's already on him. Funny Astro jumps over to the Lucio. He just needs to get back there. Latex going to take out Ness. Kevster again onto Bucket. Fusions will get the saving grace kill onto Casper, but it might be too little too late, because now they have to fight on the Transcendence of Epps. Leodez and Kesper, they're going to finish off the fight. They've only got themselves the young Mikey A on the point, and he's going to be whittled down quite quickly. Overtime ticks down. Orgless and Hungary take round one. They only need one more to send British Hurricane to trials next season.
And it was all the talk was on last series, the result of that affecting whether or not British Hurricane would get through, as if British Hurricane had this map in the bag. And we've seen this second half, that is not the case. Orgless and Hungary have woken up. They are showing us what they're made of. They are one round away, as you say, Tridd, from relegating Hurricane. And Hurricane, they are going to be all panic stations go right now.
One team will not make that top 4 between British Hurricane and Young and Beautiful, and they've conceded control of that to Orgless and Hungary. The freight rests entirely on their shoulders. British Hurricane are the champions of their own destiny in this final map. Mikey A is going to jump onto the Farah, and we're not going to see the same from Orgless. Instead, Casper going to jump over to the Bastion.
We're seeing more shenanigans coming out in such a crucial match as well. They want to make it work. These guys brought this out last week, let's not forget, and had the crazy hold on point. It took some real effort to break it open. Kevster did get picked off pretty quick. Might find himself here being targeted by that bird of prey.
Well, the shield's in the wrong direction. Casper's exposed, so it's going to need some body blocking to take this one out. Nesh moves round to the side with the Widowmaker. They've got perfect angles to rain down on Casper, but they have to get through everyone else first. He's going down. He's taken out by Mikey A. No cheese today. They're going to take him out and move close to the point. Barrage being sent very close. Congratulations, Mikey A. You played yourself, and now you're going to get resurrected back into the fight. Funny Astro having the magic hands to do that. But Kevster's turned around and got a kill on a D-Mech Happy Cool. The fight is taking around the Lighthouse, but positional control is Orgless and Hungry. They're going to take the first cap and get this ball rolling.
Mikey A's trying to do what he can from the side here, just not enough damage to force away all this healing coming out of the double main healer of the Moira and the Mercy.
Casper staying on the Bastion. They've changed up the shielding because they know what's coming at them now. They know that Mikey A can be this Farah and rain down rockets from above. This is incredibly difficult to break through because they have so much body block potential, and of course Eps can just sit on there with Denia and heal up Casper. Look at Mikey A trying to find that angle again. The shield does expose the Bastion to these rockets. They need to be conscious of it, so body blocking needs to be played, but they've all moved around. They're doing the exact same strat to counter it and try and deal with it. Denia and Funny Astro both popping the Valkyrie. Kevster gets a kill onto Happy Cool again with the rocket punch and the uppercut. He's moving around. He's got himself a cosmic strike, and it's going to land straight onto Bucket. Moving in again. He's gone onto Nesh. There's nothing he can do about it. The back line is in disarray for British Hurricane, and it's all down to Kevster.
50% mark now being hit. Hurricane need to find an answer right now because what they're doing is not working. They keep on throwing bodies at this Bastion hoping that it dies, but it's just not happening. Orgless and Hungry with the unconventional comp are making it work. There is 40% between Hurricane getting relegated and potentially staying in the playoffs.
They have ults on the board, Primal Rage, Self-Destruct and Barrage for the side of British Hurricane. But Casper, he can move around now. He's got tank force needed. Look at that!
Beautiful.
Double kill, Happy! Channels the RCK inside him and gets the double with the Self-Destruct. They've dislodged Orgless and Hungry. They should be able to get the flip. Now it's all about the defense and whether they can pull it off for the full 100%.
Best part is the whole time the team is trying to focus on bringing down that Bastion, Kevster is in the backline demolishing the supports on the Doomfist. It's exactly why you see it get picked up in such a interesting composition, you might say. Kevster's going to switch away into the Traitor now again to continue doing that same job harassing the supports, just relying less so on the whole enemy team committing onto the Bastion.
Well, they want to commit onto the Bastion so they can keep putting the shields up. Latex can keep dropping them in front of wherever they want to set up Bastion. He's going to be moved around out of cover, but he's now back in it. Here comes the Coalescence, going to top everyone up. Tank form for Casper, gets some height. He wants the best angles to take everyone out, but everyone's hiding. They know to look for it. Still getting height. He's going for a climb up the tower. No kills to be found. Nesh taking out the Supercharger from Latex. Happy Cool trying to take him out, but look at his position from Casper. It's so oppressive, and he's getting pocketed. He's not been able to get on there. For British Hurricane, so titled with getting them, they're not able to take him out. And Orgless and Hungry with the flip coming out. They might have just done it. 5% left to go. No answers, and a self-destruct goes over the top. No kills to be found. Fusion's going down. Overtime was triggered, but no one's even near to it. Orgless and Hungry are being kept away by the Tracer, who will now go down to Latex. Where's British Hurricane? They're coming out fast. Casper's positioning up high is keeping them away from the point. They have to play around terrain, but the Holt will bring them together. Self-destruct, going to clear off some time. Finds Latex. They just need to deal with Casper, and no one's able to do it because they just go straight up to die. This is unique. It's incredible. Orgless and Hungry have now sent British Hurricane into trials for Season 3.
Relegated by a hopping Bastion, jumping up onto the high ground there. Crazy stuff coming out of Orgless and Hungry. It was clear British Hurricane didn't expect that. Commiserations to Hurricane. You will find yourself going into trials, but fair plays to Orgless and Hungry as well. At halftime, it looked pretty much guaranteed to be going Hurricane's way. They turn it around and win 3 maps on the bounce.
Speaking of bouncing, I don't think I've ever seen a Bastion played like that by Casper. What a unique strategy by Orgless and Hungary to really take it to British Hurricane when it came down to the wire. So like we said, British Hurricane going to Trials next season. Their playoff career ends here. But of course, Young and Beautiful, they've now secured their place in that top 4. We're going to take it over to our analysts who are going to break down the lunacy that was the final 3 maps of that series.